Hello, all you hardcore boxing fans out there. How you doing? It's Russ here from Porky's Corner, the biggest gob in sport. We say the things on here that nobody dares say. Isn't that right, Coogan? Now, can I just give a big shout out to our sister channel, Porky's International? Feel free to go over there and like and subscribe and leave a comment. Also, a big shout out to www.boxersinneed.com. That's set up by Welcome Estates from Gary, a good friend of mine. Go and check that out. Right, here we go. Well, I see Callas Sourland. He's having a little dig in here at Eubank, moaning that Eubank wants to tune up only because Callas out on his hero, aren't you, Calla? You've been let go, haven't you? Do you know, Calla, do you know when you're in the wilderness, right? When you're in the wilderness, you squeal a bit, don't you, Calla? Calla, you do. You make me laugh, you know. When you were riding high with Eubank, Calla, you were, this is my new best friend. Now that you've been discarded, a bit like that Bomac, you're squealing a bit, aren't you? Eh? I love this, mate. Don't they all squeal when they don't get it their own way, these privately educated, privileged brats, eh? Calla, you've been a ponce all your life and you're still a ponce, eh? When Eubank's getting knocked about when he's about 40 and he comes running back to you, you'll pimp him out best you can. All right, it comes round. The landscape changes, and what'll happen is Eubank will come back to you. It'll be a good few years now. He's doing merry-go-round. He's been with everybody, hasn't he, really, except Big Rotten. But, Calla, you're complaining that Eubank wants these tune-up fights or knockovers, as you've been telling people behind the scenes, but you weren't saying that when you were giving him knockovers, were you? Hey, not so long ago. So it works both ways. So stop squealing and being an hypocrite, all right? You've been discarded. It happens. Get over it. You never got the Ben money, did you? That's the bottom line with you, isn't it, Calla, eh? You never got the Ben money. But we all remember your little role in all that, don't we, Calla? Ooh. We all remember your little role in that, don't we, eh? Well, Chris, Connor has failed a test, but, you know, we're not really bothered about that because we all want to get paid. You'll beat him anyway because he's a small man. Right? That was your little role on it, wasn't it? Forget all them fans that paid thousands of pounds for tickets, hotels and all that, and had to go to London for a weekend, but there were no boxing. You weren't bothered about them fans, and you're not bothered about Christopher Eubank Jr. either, Calla. So take your lumps and swallow. You've been swallowing all your life anyway, you little ponce. So now, I ain't got no sympathy for Calla Sourland. He was spoon-feeding Eubank when he had him. He didn't want to put him near Canelo. He didn't want to put him near Charlo. He didn't want to do anything like that and put him in a fight that meant something. You want gimmick fights like Crusher Ben. I remember when Kell Brook fought Golovkin and you were squealing like a pig about the weight difference and how dangerous it is. Kell Brook, 147, Golovkin, 160, big puncher. He had record for defences or joint record, but nearly all his were knockouts, weren't they, or nearly all of them. And then we've got Crusher, 147, Eubank, 168 or 160. So that's even worse, but it was all right then for you, wasn't it, to cash in and not tell fans about failed dope tests. But now you're out on you, you're squealing like a pig. Go on, get gone. That's him dealt with. Bean! Runner bean, could have been, should have been, never been. Baked bean, creepy bean. Beanie! Oh, Rumpelstiltskin, we're on to you, aren't we? Why are you doing interviews, Rumpelstiltskin, on that seedy Danny Flexen's channel, Seconds Out? Why? Didn't do views anyway, but why? Going on about AJ and Fury must happen. Bean, don't you remember your little role in all that at Sky? Why it didn't happen? Hey? Because we all know Joshua didn't want to go anywhere near Fury when Matchroom were working with Sky and you were the head honcho at Sky, Bean. So now why are you coming out with stuff like AJ and Fury must happen? And you got nothing else to talk about, Beanie? Hey? I thought you were leaving boxing to try different things and all that. You still ended up hanging around boxing. Like a bad smell, you're boring me, Bean. Stop going on about AJ Fury must happen. Oh, my God. course it must happen, but it ain't as big as what it could have been when you were captain of the ship at Sky, what it Beanie? These people like Bean and Callum, the brass neck on them, they're just hypocritical all the time, aren't they? But nobody's allowed to say it, are they? But what you'll get now, you'll get bigger channels and bigger platforms than me. They'll pick up on all this and they'll put their own little spin to it. It's been going on 7 years, but I'm used to it now, kids. I'm used to it. I'm like a trailblazer, aren't I? I start the ball rolling and then they all run with it. I've heard back for what they do at TalkSport. I know you slags all watch my channel, but who cares? I don't care anymore, but I used to. What can you do but Bean? You know that fight's no good now. They've been knocked about, haven't they? Fury's been knocked about, hasn't he? Fury's been down on floor 8 times. Joshua's been down. Vladimir put him down, didn't he? Usyk knocked him about for two fights. 24 rounds they had. He only won 6 rounds. He didn't drop him, though, but nearly did. And he was dropped all them times against Ruiz. What, 5 times against Ruiz? Vladimir dropped him. That's 6, isn't it? 6. Dylan White dropped him, didn't he, in amateurs? That's 7 that I know of. David Price and Dubois and Lawrence Okoli filled him in and put him on Buttermoon at EIS. Well, that's 9 times. Hey, boxing folklore, that. Fury's had 8 counts, so they've been knocked about now. Fury's no belt. Joshua's no belt. He's got 3 losses. Fury's got a loss. They could have fought when they both had the zeros when they were at the peaks. You were responsible for that, Beanie. You were one of the players in the game that made it so it didn't happen. You could have put your foot down and said, this happens now or not. But now you were too busy kissing ass, weren't you, at Matchroom and getting your little gigs at Matchroom, doing dart commentary and what you're doing horse racing commentary at Sky or something. My advice to you, Bean, stay out at bookies and stop spinning stories about illnesses and all that. All a load of rubbish. Absolute rubbish. Show me photos. Show me photos. It's like these boxers, isn't it? Sonny and Billy. Oh, I had eye injuries. Show me the x-rays. Kell Brook did. Just lip service, innit? Utter lip service. So it is what it is. Judge Jordan debating whether Joshua's got a chin and all that. I've just told you all about that, haven't I? Joshua's been down, what, 9 times in his career, 6 as a pro, or was it about 5 or 6 as a pro? Ruiz put him down loads of times, didn't he? Hey, and Vladimir, so we've spoke about that. Is Eddie Hills #1? Or is it Bricktop promoter? Definitely in the UK. I'd say Eddie's got the elite fighters. He's involved with several pound for pound guys, isn't he, across the board. Bricktop's involved with you. You won't put Fury as pound for pound, wouldn't you? Or Dubois, even though they got him a belt via email, but he got Enzo Macaronelli a belt by email, didn't he? Dennis Lebedev by email, Ricky Burns by email. If you want a belt, you go see Bricktop. Ask Nathan Cleverly. He got the WBO by email because Bricktop knew that Jürgen Bremer, who went to prison, he were on bail, he weren't allowed to leave the country, so they made the fight. Bremer couldn't leave Germany. Look what happened when they should have fought. They did fight eventually, but I think. But when Cleverly were fighting Bremer first time, it never happened, did it? It never happened. He couldn't get on the plane, so the WBO gave Cleverly the belt by your email. So if you want a belt, you go see your Uncle Bricktop. It's no new for Bricktop to give you world championship status, is it? Hey? No. Oh yeah, he fought Bremer in his second to last fight, but when he eventually did get the belt, he got it by email. So Daniel Dubois got his belt by email. Imagine that. I wish somebody had emailed me and said, Porky, you're a world champion. Unbelievable. But Joshua and Dubois are fighting basically to see who's the 2nd or 3rd or 4th best heavyweight in the world, because Fury's still in mix, isn't he? Dubois, Joshua and Usyk. So Usyk's the daddy, and then you've got the next 3. They're all trying to get to be 2nd best, aren't they? So it is what it is, isn't it? Okie dokie. So thanks for liking and subscribing and leaving a comment. Don't forget www.boxersindeed.com. Don't forget my sister channel, Porky's International. Go on, have a little nosy over there. Oh, you'll be surprised what I've just put on there. Go on, peace out. Booyaka.